parenting styles are pretty funny in my opinion. Try to picture parenting as three different Wi-Fi signals. You got some that are strong, fast, and consistent. You got some that are decent but gets the job done, and well, you got some that aren't really there. Either way, kids are always going to complain no matter how good of a parent you are. But do you know what effects certain styles cause? Now, I am not a plan. I'm not a parent nor plan to be right now, mainly because my mom would strike the power of Thor in me. But I plan to be at some point. However, the older I got, the more aware I was to different family styles. I've always been an observer, so seeing different families handle different situations intrigued me. I have done a paper on the effects of parenting styles to children my freshman year of college, and usually I am not satisfied with my papers nor get interested. But for some reason, researching the effects and tying it into my personal life brought interest. Now, for fun, I people watch. Yeah, people watching is fun to me. No, I'm not a creep, but it's truly amazing how parents deal with their children and how they don't. Children truly do show a reflection of their parents' style of discipline. Now, I want to start talking about the authoritarian parenting. Um, Overall, this just caused more negative outcomes in a children's life. One connection I want to do is my favorite superhero, which is Spider-Man. Um, Across novels, across books, it shows Flash bullying Peter Parker. But I want to talk about one certain movie in particular, The Amazing Spider-Man, that casted Andrew Garfield. Um, Flash is shown as bullying Peter Parker and showing how weak Peter Parker is. But then when Uncle Ben is Spider Man's uncle, when he dies, Flash tries to go over and apologize, but Peter obviously doesn't take that. So this just shows how Flash is a bully, but also shows a sign of weakness. Um, I didn't really think of it until it clicked in my head with this presentation that Flash could be an example of this. I truly feel he was just um, having strict parents. In another movie, it does show Flash's parents as kind of strict. Um, Another example of this, it increases depression, anxiety, and anger. There was a study in 2022 presenting how children exposed to this type of style is more aggressive physically and verbally. I feel like I can, I feel, I feel like I can relate to this. Growing up, I feel I was exposed to this type of parenting, and now I feel I am um, aggressive, but I can control it a little bit better. There was another study in 2022 showing how this type of style does, again, bring that aggression throughout years. Without treating it, it will cause um, just more anger in the mental aspect, and then um, just brings out the trauma from the recent years. Um, Another one I want to point out is that it just shows how this type of style. Sorry. Let's backtrack a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, there's another parenting style which is the complete opposite, called neglecting parenting, or also an uninvolved parenting. This overall is just negative all around. I don't see any positives with this going through. There was a study in the 1970s, so this is data dated way back, presenting how the little involvement causes emotional detachment, such effects as self-esteem or academic success not being there. Um, there was another study in 2017 showing how their kids are usually introverts. They just rely on themselves since they don't have that figure there with them, either their mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whatever it may be. Um, this is good and bad. I feel like people that are too introverted, they tend to show negative effects because they just want to be to themselves more. Researchers do not recommend this type of parenting because there's just too much negatives to it. Like I said, I feel like there's not really a positive to this type of style. Sorry. It just all connects back to the the difficulties with the academics, the the low self-esteem, increases in depression and anxiety, and etc. This was proven by the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, that it is the most negative affected for child development. I feel like that in itself is just a really big, crucial part. And this brings us to our last point, where there's just a bit of a mix of both called authoritative. I feel like this is a perfect balance. This is the type of parenting I would want for a child, not just a child, but my child in the future years. I can say the older I did get, the more lenient my parents got. So they kind of went to that authoritarian to the authoritative type of styling. Um, I feel like they realized the negative effects that was happening, so they transitioned into this type of styling, which honestly is probably the best thing they've done, because I feel like we have a such bigger and better, stronger, sorry, such a bigger and better um, bond now. From 12 to 15, we were fighting constantly on and off. I had issues going on with school, it just wasn't the best. But since they started doing this authoritative styling, everything has been running smoother. Obviously, there's a little hiccups here and there, but that's just how it is. It is considered the best and most effective type of styling, benefiting of children. So I believe that was from, yeah, types of parenting styles and effects on children. This is also an NIH study. It's just showing positive effects. Obviously, there is some downsides, but I feel like that just comes with the type of person the parent may be or the children may be. It's not really like the style. Um, it just creates that warmth. It shows the standards, the respect between the parents and the children. I feel like that's what usually is not seen. It just sets them up for its success. They have better social skills, emotional regulation, and going back to the academic success, they just thrive more in that. Now, I think I bored you enough with all this information. I'm sure a couple seconds, all you could think about was the pimple on my face, on my cheek, or how bushy my eyebrows really are. Sorry, guys, I'm really trying. Um, like I said, I wanted to present the positive and negative effects of a children through the different types of styling. I hope you got the three main ones: the uninvolved, the authoritative, and the authoritarian. Um, Now, I think my biggest statement I would leave with you guys today is just to think twice about what parent you want to be. Do you want to be the parent that creates a hero or a villain? I feel like there's some that are negative, some that are positive, some that got both. I think whatever fits your child or fits you as a person, um, go with that one.